Hi guys, this is R.A. Sweeney here to bring you another excerpt from the book Praying with the Writings as part of the Praying with the Bible series. Today I wanted to talk about 2nd Chronicles 18. So this is a passage that I've talked about before. It came up in when I was going through Kings, a pretty well-known story actually, where the king of Israel is wanting to go to war, and he invites the king of Judah to come along with him. The king of Judah asks, "Hey, what do the prophets say?" They bring in all the pagan prophets. The king of Judah says, "Like, what about the prophet of Yahweh, of God?" Um, and so he wants to see what he has to say, which um, I I found interesting when I wrote about it before, and I still found it interesting again that he goes and says like, no, we need to know what the God of the Bible has to say about things, and so he puts that emphasis on let's see what he has to say, but then he never listens to him. When the prophet comes in, he brings God's word that the king of Judah had been asking for. He says, "Hey, here is what God has to say about it." And he's saying that you guys are all going to die if you go do this. But then the king is like, "Yep, that sounds good. Let's go do that then." Um, and so it really made me wonder. I mean, you've got Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah. He sticks up for being faithful to his God, to King Ahab of Israel, who is older. So he's sticking up to his elder. It's a powerful neighboring king, and he's like, "No, I need to make sure that I'm following my God," which great, super faithful. But then he doesn't follow through. And one thing that really reminded me of as well is you see all throughout the Bible, but I think it really is best pictured in the story following the exodus of Moses in the wilderness, that on their way from Egypt to Mount Sinai, they committed a bunch of rebellion and sins. And then after Sinai, on the way to the land that God had promised them, they commit basically the exact same sins, but the punishment's different. Before Sinai, they were rebelling in ignorance. They didn't know any better. They weren't not guilty, but there was a softer punishment than afterward. It's like, hey, we've talked about things. You just spent a year learning about me and my way of life, and all those things, and now you're going to reject me? And so there was a much stronger punishment when there's knowledge and when there had been like an agreement and a covenant. And so here, Jehoshaphat, he seeks out the knowledge, but he doesn't follow through. And so that was just really striking to me as, when we are praying, do we have any intention of following through? And if we're not going to follow through, honestly, prayer just sets us up for a worse punishment. So I'm not advocating that we don't pray, but it's really foolish to pray and then to not follow through on those prayers. So that's what I wrote about for 2nd Chronicles 18 with the book Praying with the Writings. Thanks.